Welcome everyone. I'm called Mawa Bosco. We are going to discuss insurance fraud. In this presentation, we should be able to know what health insurance fraud is and how does it manifest. Can you detect health insurance fraud, and what are the things that you can do to make sure that you prevent health insurance fraud from happening. So health insurance fraud refers to the deliberate deceptive activities to gain unauthorized benefits, typically involving healthcare claims coverage or personal identity. So to basically understand this is that you have a client who goes to procure a health insurance policy or plan. And then along the way in implementing this insurance policy, the client may trick the insurance company into giving them services that they are not supposed to get, or into making claims for services that they did not get, or colluding with health professionals for documentation of treatment that they did not get. Okay, so basically it's about manipulating the system in order to gain a benefit that is not legitimate. Okay, so that is health insurance fraud. So it manifests in different ways that we shall need to look at. So to be able to counter that, a lot of collaboration is needed, both between the key stakeholders in this, the insurers, the client, the health providers, and then the authorities responsible for regulating the healthcare insurance industry. Okay, so it really needs a lot of collaboration. So what can really happen? One is that you can have an insurance company that works directly with just a selected healthcare providers or hospitals. And then when the insurance company get their clients, they're supposed to receive medical services from the selected healthcare provider. Okay, but if the healthcare provider lack integrity, if the healthcare providers lack integrity, they can provide inaccurate information about the services that have been received from their health facility. Okay, so they can overbill, okay, the health insurer or the insurance company. So that is what we call the billing fraud. The actual amount of services or the actual cost for the services that have been provided to the insured clients could be, let us say, 100,000 SSP, but then the bill comes out as 1 million SSP. That is overbilling. Okay. Then this can happen when the healthcare provider offer services to clients that are not really needed. Okay, so they inflate, I can use that word. They allow the client to receive services that they are not really supposed to get as per their medical condition. So they can have unnecessary procedures being performed, and then later on billing the insurance company. And then we have what you call phantom billing, which is charging for medical services or treatments that never really took place. Okay, someone goes to a dentist and says a root canal has been performed, yet there was no root canal performed. Okay, so the person presents for papers for a claim. Okay, and then we have what you call medication fraud, submitting claims for medications that are not prescribed. Okay, or indicating that a particular brand name drugs have been given the patient, yet actually the drugs that were given the patient are generic. Usually generic drugs are cheaper compared to brand name drugs. Okay, so that could be a medication fraud. And then you also have an example where you have the client providing false information during the process of application for an insurance policy. They say they give you medical information that is not accurate. And then as the plan is being implemented, the health situation of the client changes. And then that means that they'll have to be compensated more than what could have been the case if the client actually had provided all the information needed for the plan, for the insurance plan, for the appropriate insurance plan to be selected, or whether the insurer would even have accepted or rejected the application. Okay, so there's if there's what you call life insurance fraud. It's also related to what I've just explained. So someone procures life insurance, but conceals information about their health. Okay, maybe they have an illness that is terminal in nature, but when they are filling those the forms for applying for insurance, they don't reveal that, and then their payments are low. The premium, the monthly premium are low because they have not really disclosed the illness that they have. Okay, and then that brings losses to the insurer. Okay, others can actually stage their death. They close relatives or the next of kin can claim that the insured client is actually dead, yet they are not dead. This is done in order for the next of kin to get the life insurance benefits. Okay, yet the person is actually still alive. So health insurance fraud is not good. It has a lot of impact on the a health system, on the customer or the client, then on the insurance company. Okay, so what really happens is, one, that of course health insurance fraud results into losses, like I've mentioned earlier on. The cost associated to running these insurance plans becomes high because of the overbilling and the unnecessary treatment. And sometimes you may really have to go into investigation to see if the claim is actually a legitimate one or not. And that means that those are resources that are needed. You also have issues to do with having to be in courts law because of issues to do with fraud. So it has legal repercussions. And then also because of the practices associated with fraud, you will not have accurate patient information because some of this information may be withheld. So you have a lot of things happening in the health system as a result of health insurance fraud. And then we move to the impact of the health insurance fraud on the insurer. Like I said, it is very costly. Okay, you have a lot of resources divided into investigation and also preventing and detecting fraud. Okay, but of course, for the business to survive, you may have to increase the premium to cover some of those losses that can result from fraud. And then there's loss of trust and credibility in the industry. Okay, if you have many cases of claims that are not fulfilled because of suspicion related to fraud, then it means that the public actually may lose trust in the insurance companies. Okay, so that may have negative repercussions to the business. On the consumer, of course, like I said, the insurer may have to increase the premium such that they can cover their losses. So that means that for you to procure health insurance, you may have to pay a higher amount because of fraud-related issues. Okay, and then sometimes you can have a legitimate claim, but of course, this may have to be investigated because of issues related to suspicions of fraud. And this would delay you in getting your legitimate claim. Of course, over time, there's decrease in confidence in the health system and the insurance providers. And that is why some people actually take long to decide whether they need to get health insurance or not. So generally, the factors that influence health insurance fraud, people are not aware of what their rights are, their obligations are when they hold an insurance policy. And then the other thing is that if you don't have systems in place, systems and tools to monitor and audit insurance procedures, then you have a lot of fraud happening. And then the other thing is that running insurance, health insurance services is quite complex and requires high costs. And this may be a fertile ground for health insurance fraud happening. Okay, The other thing is that it could be hard. It is actually hard to detect. It could be hard to detect fraudsters. Okay, and actually bring them to. So we have low detection and prosecution rates of fraudsters. And then you have the providers, healthcare providers, being more, they have that kind of incentive to actually overbill, okay, and also provide unnecessary procedures, okay. And then we have also people within the public who are basically looking for opportunities to opportunities to steal from insurance companies, and therefore they exploit the loopholes within the systems and then take advantage of that. And then we move to, as a manager within a health insurance company, or as an insurer, what are the things that would indicate to you that there's fraud going on? So one, when there are discrepancies in claims, inconsistencies in services provided, when you have discrepancies in medical records. So we are going to look at each of these. Also, if there are unexplained billing anomalies, frequent changes in providers, duplicate billing for the same services. These are some of the things that can indicate that something wrong could be happening. So we are going to look at how that happens and what can really be done. Okay. So medical record discrepancies. When you have different medical records for the same person. So we have altered medical histories. And then also you have ghost patient records of fictitious patient records, and then also misrepresentation of patient conditions or wrong diagnosis. Okay. So what are the things that really can demonstrate that something's wrong? One, if you don't have, if you have a client who claims who makes a claim, but they don't have the right documentation for the procedures that were performed. And then also, if you have some parts of the patient files missing, and the documentation is not very clear, inconsistent, that's an indication something wrong could be happening. So what could you really do? In this case, you really need to verify patient information, conduct regular audits, and then also utilize the different fraud detection tools. Okay. So how do you verify patient information? Always cross-check that information and see that it is actually accurate. If there are inconsistencies, you point that out and it is rectified early enough. Okay, so you always encourage the clients to always cooperate with you in providing the right information. And then create what you call eligibility criteria. So validate these eligibility criteria often. And then conduct regular billing. Okay, so this will conduct regular audits. This will allow you to detect any billing errors or anomalies and rectify them in time. Always analyze the patterns. The patterns will show you what's really happening. Okay, do we have an increase in certain in the amount billed, or we have a decline, or what procedures are being built, things like that. And then you need to have, or you need to deploy tools, computer tools or digital tools that can be able to detect fraud. Okay, so you may need to train staff on how to use this tool so that you become more efficient in detecting fraud. If you detect a fraud, it's very important to handle these cases to their logical conclusion, because it is actually safer for the health insurance industry not to have cases of fraud. Cases of fraud contribute to financial losses, and therefore law enforcement officers have to be involved in making sure that this is gotten rid of. Okay, so you should also provide mechanisms through which people can report issues or suspicions of fraud. So there should be anonymous hotlines that people can call and report any issues. The public needs to be aware. They need to be informed. You can hold sensitization and awareness sessions to educate the public about consequences of insurance fraud and the importance of reporting. And then you have to work with the different stakeholders in making sure that you get rid of this practice. Sharing information is very important amongst the stakeholders, hospitals, insurers, health providers, and then also the government authorities and regulators. It's very important to work closely with them to make sure that this practice is stamped out. So this marks the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening.